So let's do this. Lars has jumped off to go be with his family. I got a couple of quick questions for you. Since there's a bunch of us on the line right now, I want to know in the last, let's call it the last month, what wins have you had? And if you've been on a webinar with me earlier this week and answer this, completely okay to answer the same thing. I just want to know, capital W, what are the wins you've had in the last, let's call it the last month? I want to just kind of check in with you, feel the pulse, and then be as useful as I can and serve. Howard says, great job, Lars. Yeah, Howard, as you know, Lars is in boardroom as well, and so you guys are connected that way. And if you do choose to come over for boardroom in the States a little bit later, you know, in one of the upcoming boardrooms, then you'll get to hang out with Lars there. So capital W, please. What are the wins you've had? We're going to switch gears and get into the coaching part of the call. I want to help as much as I possibly can. So if you could just find the question box inside GoToWebinar and just type in the wins you've had, that will be fantastic. Thank you. While you do that, I'll have a quick sip of my drink. Today's win is discovering I can be an introvert and still be successful. Dude, of course you can. Remember at the $1 Million Coach, one of the very first things I said was, you want to copy the thinking, not the tactics. So if I'm an extrovert and video is my thing, and you're an introvert and you'd prefer to, you know, write or talk and not be on camera, you can completely build a model that fits you, and it doesn't have to look anything like mine. I won't be offended. I'll be ridiculously impressed and proud. Diana says, my people plan toolkit is built and my free video course set up and ready for launch. Diana, good job. The people plan. 6-figure launchpad sequence done. Just need to switch it on now. George, let's get that puppy cranking. Second webinar done and learning, says Sally. 3 new wins. $6,500 a month in income boost. Book published. Dude, what's the book called? Is it Finovation or is it something else? Awesome VA hired. Group program marketing campaign. 90% ready to launch. Good job, brother. New clients. I thought it was new clients. Yeah, perfect. 3 new clients. It is Finovation. I'd love to get a copy at our next Black Belt. I'd love a read. Well done. Thanks, man. Okay, so next question. Capital L with an L at the start, just so I know it's a lesson. If you think about the last month, what's the last month been teaching you? What's the biggest lesson you've learned in the last month? Okay, if there's one lesson that you could extract from the last few weeks, which will really set you up for success in the future, what would that lesson be? I cannot in any way, shape, or form grow this business on my own and stay sane. Dude, great lesson. Let's not do that. Let's get yourself a pit crew. Need a team around me to get more work done successfully. Sally, same lesson. Awesome. What else? Lessons. Angel, Dane, Diana, Eric. George, love to know. Jonathan, Duda, Michael, Sally, Stunker, Tom, Megida, Jen. What have you been learning? Love to know. Do it the right way, not the tight ass way. Use people who are rock stars, not wannabes. Dude, big lesson. Fantastic. What is it? Nothing's more expensive than a cheap job done badly, right? Diana, patience and imperfect action. Love that. Control frustrations. Yeah. Go with your gut, 100%. Yeah, have you ever gone with your gut and then gone, oh, I shouldn't have listened to my gut? I can't think of a single time. Third question, second last question. With a capital P, what's your project right now? If you think about the next month, this October month for you, what's October about? What's your theme and what's your project? Let me know. What's your theme right now? What's your project for the next few weeks? Capital P, if you can at the start. Business Bootcamp overhaul, implementing the stuff. Yeah, totally. Let's do it. Finishing up my final test. Tom, good job, mate. Let's get this done. Very impressed. Stuart, New York, turn 40, then launch, bitch. Dude, love that. Launch, turn on my 6-figure launchpad sequence and get authority website online. Fantastic. Beautiful. Okay, last question. With a capital Q, what do you need from me most right now? Type it in, give us some detail, let me help. I'm at your service and I really want to help you smash this. I'm really glad Lars said it, but you know, I feel honored to do what I do and to get to help you do what you do. is a real thrill for me. So let's do some magic together. What do you reckon? Diana, big attraction phase to build a list of my ideal clients. Yes. How to shoot videos indoor easily. I keep not quite getting it right. Cool. Well, there's other questions coming in, but you were the first cab off the rank, Stuart. So I'm going to go to you right now. Let's chat, dude. Dude, you got a book.
Hey, yeah, I have. I have indeed.
What was the biggest lesson you'd give, biggest kind of advice you'd give to anyone else who's thinking about writing a book? What would your advice be?
Probably the biggest thing is don't try and edit it whilst you're writing it. Just do a massive brain fart. Don't go back and look at it. Get it all out there and realize that your editor will go back and organize it for you.
Love that. I don't know who said it. Write drunk, edit sober. They sound like two very different jobs. Writing once and then editing, not at the same time. That's helpful. Dude, let's talk a little bit about video. What are you trying to shoot? And tell me a little bit about the location. So first of all, kind of what's happening so far?
Okay. So I bought a bunch of equipment using,
Yep.
I bought this awesome teleprompter from Prompted. I've got, using my iPhone, got all the microphone and everything.
Yeah.
I found the best way for me to knock out content is kind of to write scripts.
Okay.
And then just set up. The problem is I've got lights and stuff and I kind of set it up, but it's just, I don't know whether it's I can't get the lighting right, so the shadows in the background, or yeah, I just can't seem to get it to look really crisp, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So my iPad's just disappeared on me, which is funny. I'm just going to shut this down, restart it, and hopefully we'll be able to get that back up on the screen in a mo. Okay, so if you think about the room that you're shooting this in, and by the way, indoors is way easier than outdoors in terms of control. Like once you get it set up, it can stay set up and it's good.
Okay.
What sort of lighting have you got? What's the kind of the setup?
So it's kind of two locations. I'm operating out of it's kind of an old restaurant building, but we're turning it into some offices. Long story, and it's got this beautiful brick wall. And when I'm shooting, I'm trying to shoot when there's a little light coming in from outdoors.
Yeah.
And I'm using a couple of diffuse lighting things. I've tried shooting at home, but because the room we've got isn't huge, I tend to find that I get shadows on the back wall. So I've kind of just stuck to shooting in the building that I'm working out of.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to draw a room. Is it sort of squarish or rectangular?
The one I'm in is a big, long rectangular wall, room.
Great. So I've just drawn it here on the screen. Where are you standing?
Okay, this is going to get interesting. So if you go from sort of the left-hand side all the way through and draw a line sort of halfway through the square to the right, and then about two-thirds of the way, just it's an inch. Look.
All right, so which wall is behind you? The left wall or
the bottom one? The bottom one.
The bottom wall is behind you. Great. And so somewhere along this wall you're standing. Are you sort of in the middle?
No, I'm off to the right.
So you're sort of about here-ish.
Yeah, about exactly there, actually. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm channeling Stuart's studio. Okay, so you're standing here, and you're facing this way.
Facing up. Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Tell me where your lights are.
Lights are kind of I've got one to each side. One is slightly further away from me at probably about 45 degrees angle.
Yeah, perfect. So that sounds right. So ideally we want, if you think sort of 45, and 45, we want lights sort of here-ish. Which one's further, which one's closer?
I usually sort of have the one on the right a bit further away because
so it's going to be here, and the other one is sort of in here-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. And are there windows in the room?
Yeah, there's windows on the right wall.
Okay. So that side's pretty well lit then.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. And what's happening? Tell me what's going on that's not working.
Okay, I'm tending to get a lot of shadow in the wall to the left and behind me.
Yeah. Which is probably due to this window here.
Okay.
Because like it's, you're here, it's kind of casting your shadow that way, and that's where your shadow is, right?
Okay.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it's a bit closer, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Yes, it's along this wall. So why don't we do a couple of things? Have you, well, a couple of things. Number one, by the way, I'm no lighting expert. I'm just kind of going by experience, and a couple of things which just kind of screwed up for me. Can you curtain
Yeah.
this window?
Not really, no.
Okay. Let me give you some options. Number one, curtain it if you can. Number two, let's think about times of day. Yeah, depending on where the sun is, which way is kind of east, west, etc. The best
Yep.
hours usually for filming if you're outside are the golden hours, as the sun's just coming up, like middle of the day, you tend to get big shadow. But in your case, you obviously want to pick a time of day. If the sun's kind of directly above, it's not going to be affecting the window too much. It's going to be, light, but not too bad. So I'd think about, maybe times of day. The other thing is, can you... Dude, if there's anyone on the line that does video a lot and can tell me exactly what we're doing wrong, that'd be great to know. I might just put that out there. If there's anyone here who's got how do we make that shadow thing go away, please type it in. That'd be rad. Do you have a light behind you, dude?
No, I don't.
Okay. So often they talk about a fill light, which comes from behind you and sort of points, points up. Up at the backdrop behind you.
Okay.
So that might be worth trying. And what I would do is I'd call, I know you're in Sydney, if you call Dragon Image, they're a company that sells heaps of video equipment. Just go, hey, I've got this problem, I've got a light. I've got two lights on me at 45s like I'm told, but I've got a big shadow behind me because of a side window. What do I do? I just talk to Dragon Image. I'm sure they'll tell you what to do, and they'll probably change. They'll probably try to sell you something.
Okay, fair
enough. Michael says, I use a bit of black plastic that I tape to the windows to block out the light. Needs a behind light or an overhead light. Yeah, I think it's called a fill light is what you want to Google.
Okay.
Overhead light diffuses the shadows a lot. So, Stuart, I'm going to say, sounds like George Zenon knows what he's talking about. In the Facebook group, if you just kind of find George Zenon, Z-E-N-O-N, send him a message. He might be able to point you in the right direction.
Awesome, I will do.
Yeah, I wish I knew more. I'm not a video pro, but it sounds like the shadow here is completely caused by that. It sounds like it's been caused by that window.
I think that backlight thing is probably the thing that's really hit home, because obviously if you're showing massive amounts of light on something directly, you're not going to get shadow in the back behind you. So I'll give that a go.
Yeah, I'd totally give that a go.
Awesome.
Cool, man. Congrats on the book, and enjoy turning 40 in New York City.
I will do. Thank you.
See you, brother. Bye. Thank you, everybody. Alfie says, I always use a light behind shining up. Yes. Alfie asks, what's the special lens you mentioned to blur the background, but it keeps you in focus? And what's the mic? Yeah, totally. Happy to talk about that. So let's do a quickie on gear. The camera I use is a Canon. In Australia, it's called a 600D. It's literally, I think it's the cheapest, most basic DSLR that Canon sells. At least it used to be. It cost me, I think, $600. What I like about it is it's got like a flip-out screen, so you can, if you're in front of it, you can see yourself. It's also got a mic in jack, so I can plug in an external microphone. Yeah, it's, whatever you use, got to make sure it does that. The lens that I use that sits in front is called the tech, the kind of the nerds call it the Nifty 50, and what it is it's a f1.8, which has got something to do with the aperture, and it's 50 millimeters. In other words, it's a 5 centimeter lens. Okay, so it's an f1.8 50 mil, also called the Nifty 50. It's got a shallow depth of field, Alfie, which basically means whatever's in the foreground is going to be nice and crisp. And if there's a distance between, like let's say, if there's a wall and I'm here, there's not going to be much contrast. The background's not going to be that blurry. But if I'm here and there's stuff in the background, I'm going to be nice and sharp, and it's going to diffuse or out of focus the background. It's called bokeh, B-O-K-E-H, and the Nifty 50 is the lens that does that. In Australia, the camera's called the 600D. In the US, it's called a T3i Rebel. I don't know why it's called a Rebel. T3i Rebel. Same camera, exactly. In terms of microphones, the cable one I use is by Audio Technica. It cost me like $20 on Amazon, and it's called the ATR 3350. It's like a 6-meter cable, so it's super long. It gets tangled sometimes. We're just starting to use a a wireless one. I got one from Rode. It's got a Rode Link or something like that. It's good, but it feels a bit bulky. And the Sennheiser one looks slimmer, so I might switch to that at some stage. But totally the cabled one works just great. Does that help? No worries, Sally. Got your message. Go get muscly. George says, should I switch on my Launchpad sequence before the authority site or wait? George, gonna unmute you now. Let's chat about that. Good question. Dude.
How's it going?
Oh man, life's exciting, having a good time. Dude, let's chat about this. So the Launchpad process is basically add to magnet to triage course to strategy session to client. It's kind of identical to what Lars was just talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the same process. So here's the deal. I would run exactly that, and I would add an authority site later, but you don't need it right now to get clients. And so I just go, what's the, you know, if this is you right now, and this is you where you want to get to with a bigger business and more clients, all we want to do, brother, is just straight line it. Let's not add any extra confusion. The straightest line between here and there is the Launchpad process. So do that first, and then later on, what authority does, you know, it'll definitely help people check you out. It'll help you look after all of the leads that you get that don't buy. But right now, if the focus is how do I get clients, let's just do that. And anything that isn't, you know, immediately get clients, let's do that later. Is that cool?
All right, nice and simple. Love it.
Yeah, man. Keep it simple. Sell stuff. Make money.
Done.
Cool?
Cool, thank you.
Anything that's off to the left or right, it can wait. George, your ledge. Let's have a look. Did I mention tilt video, Stuart saying? If I shoot video on my phone, which I do from time to time, there's an app. So if you use your iPhone or your Samsung or your whatever you use, just your phone, then it doesn't have the same ability to blur out the background naturally just because of the kind of the lenses that you use. But there's an app called Tilt Shift Video. What is it? Tilt Shift Video. And you shoot the video as per normal, and then let's say this is you here. What you do is you just kind of highlight around you, so it'll give you like a a circle or a rectangle or a whatever, allow you to kind of highlight yourself a little bit like you can do with an Instagram photo, I believe. Let's go down here. So it'll allow you to select you, and anything inside that selection will be made really, really sharp, and it'll blur the rest. So it'll just automatically blur everything else and give it that nice fuzzy feeling. That's perfect if you're going to be in the same spot for the whole time while you're in the phone, while you're in the video. If you move around a little bit, like if you move to the left or to the right, it's not going to help you at all. But if you're using a selfie stick or it's kind of fairly fixed, or you're holding it in sort of the same spot, that's a really good tool to use. Tilt Shift Video, it's a little iPhone app that does the same thing. And frankly, shooting video with your phone, especially while you're traveling, is just 5 million times easier. Every time I go overseas, I bring my tripod and my camera, and I never use it. I just bust out the phone and have some fun with that. Stuart, thanks for bringing that up. Awesome. All right, Ken. Well, listen, this has been really fun hanging out. I'm looking at the list, and I can't see any extra questions here. So I think we're golden. Let's have a quick look. No, we're good. Dudes, it's been really fun hanging out today. Really appreciate the chance to hang out with you. I've had a blast. Special thanks to Lars for sharing his story. And go out. Let's follow the follow the lessons. If I just kind of come back here to the conversation here with Lars, I just want to kind of highlight a couple of my big takeaways. I'm about to sneeze. Button, so you didn't have to put up with that. If I go, big takeaways for me were, number one, the focus on one thing. At the $1 Million Coach Intensive, one of the things we talk about a lot is the 5 1s. One target market, one lead source, one product that we sell, right? One conversion tool that we use to sell it, and 1 year. Dude, if you have a look at Lars, he's the poster child for the 5 1s. Yeah, the first year is like, let's focus on one thing, this group coaching program, and not sell anything else. He's gone from 21 to 84 dudes. So he's focused on one thing, one traffic source, Facebook ads. One funnel. How does it go? Facebook ad, magnet, triage call, client, done. Yeah. After his first year, he's launched a boardroom. That's been going. Now we launched another program, but it's been one thing till he's hit $1 million a year, and now he's able to scale. So the first thing is, let's just do one thing. The second thing that I really love is the distinction that you can get. You really can serve a group of people at the same price as you do your one-on-one and give them more value, not less. That's kind of a huge takeaway. The second thing is just like not making this more difficult than it is. Just don't judge it, just work it. Implement and watch cool things unfold. Eric says, who's the dude to help with the book? Rob Cosberg is the guy who's helping me with my book, if that's what you mean. Alfie, you're totally welcome. Guys, let's call this done. Thanks so much for today. I've really loved hanging out with you. Take good care, and I'll talk to you soon.